Hello, this is a game from round 6 of the London Open between Charlie Åkerblom as black and Yue Wen as white. So far, okay, Fuseki. Black would normally like to also defend around here to not get under pressure. And against this, black went for this Kosumitsuke, which white can answer like this in order to be able to extend. So this would be maybe the first choice for white, but white decided to play Hane, to which black counter-attack like this. And we get this kind of shape. Here also, normally white would play this and then cut. This would be pretty solid, but white decided to play directly Atari, which changes things a lot. This is a centigote difference. Not answering there, it's also a penalty for white. The next few moves the AI suggests is a very good lesson for everyone. First of all, get out of this stone because white didn't defend. Normally white has to come back and connect at some point. And after doing that, because white is so strong on the side, play this kind of Tsuke no Bi to force white's connection. And after that, we just enter Sansan. The AI is doing his best to force white to defend on the lower side, and then everything is Ikashi that can be sacrificed, so the value of all those stones is not so high. For example, now if white decides to go out like this, black can just sacrifice. If white decides to take the vital point, for example, no problem, black enters Sansan and sacrifice everything. So the idea is that because white is very strong already, everything there is just garbage and we can throw it away. And it's a very good lesson, especially for Q players, to understand a little bit the flow of stones in the game of Go and how once the stones did their job, it's not urgent to play anymore. For example, this is certainly not a small move, but if you compare the capture here with entering Sansan, Sansan has priority because we are in Fuseki and this kind of open areas are extremely large. By comparison, yes, this is a large move, but it's kind of a Yose if you think about it. Anyway, black gets very strong by pushing out like this, and white gets some extra points where white was strong already. So this is not profitable, and this is where the really great lesson stands. White went out, and this is a good move in order to make some agi and force black to capture. White knew that he's going to sacrifice those stones, but he wanted to get some extra thickness. This is important also for black not to answer anymore. There is some agi there, but let's see a little bit. For example, we can play same like before and enter Sansan. Let's see what's the agi here. If white wants to escape, white needs to play something like this. When black continues to apply pressure, now the shape is to play from this side. For black it would be dangerous if this cut would work, but it doesn't look like working. Black is strong enough. So if only this cut, then black is not in danger on the side, and black is in a pretty good fighting shape. This is a good moment to take Sente because white took an important point here, and the fighting spirit is to not answer. So certainly after playing some Kikashi around here, we would like to switch to the open corner. Black answered like this, so this is a good profit for white. Now white decided to play here. This is a pretty good move. AI first choice would be to actually take Sansan, because if black play here now, we play here, and white is strong enough on the lower side and can build nicely by this attack. And if black comes to take this point himself, then white can just capture, and this is pretty big. This choice is also really good because we expect Sansan to happen, and then Hane underneath is important. This kind of play would be too soft. Black's corner is impressively big, and this would be a little bit of a minus, but by playing Hane like that, white makes a very solid profit on the side. But normally black should, it's a little bit better. White also wants to play here and then black can play here. But black played this move which induces white's counter attack here. The corner is really too big to sacrifice, which black didn't realize. So black Hane and capture the stone. Even now black should retreat and prioritize the life in the corner. So by capturing like this, black lost quite a lot of points. But an interesting thing is also the 1-2-3 principle. If you play 1-2-3, just go directly for the 3. This is because white would like to keep the Atari from the center open, and even if we don't Atari, when we Hane, we have a lot of power here to double Hane. That would be nice. Indeed, the drawback is that we allow black to play this kind of move, but still it's better to keep the outside Atari as an option. So this is another very nice little detail. Indeed, it's tempting to take this. The territory is much bigger, but the Kikashi in the center is quite important compared to playing the Kikashi from the side. So white should just play like the computer suggests here, just Hane and wait. So a lot of little details that are difficult even for very strong players to grasp. Now white is comfortably ahead. The territory on the lower side is really too big, so black should strive to maybe play this kind of move and challenge to a fight. Black play from this side, which is making things worse. It's much harder to enter. And finally, black enters Sansan, but white doesn't need to adventure around here. If white plays simply something like this and just let black do what he wants on the side, white is comfortably ahead and probably without any headache. During the game, white played this, expecting this Joseki, I would say. White wants to have a solid shape in the corner, and black's two Ponukis are overlapping. This is Korigatachi. Especially now, the AB exchange becomes quite bad because it helped white to build a larger territory on the lower side, and the Korigatachi gets worse. So black tried this kind of cut, but this is usually not profitable. If white answers with something like that and makes good shape, white's fighting style is pretty easy. At some point after this kind of move, black has to come back to make some life, otherwise this Hane will quickly finish the fight. And this is giving white the time to take the vital point here. So this fight looks pretty bad for black. Now black has to somehow live on the side, and white can take easily the initiative. The last worry for white is the group on the top. In the game, white's Sagari, and this is penalizing with like 3.5 points minus, which is very interesting, and this is one variation that we would like to see. So at this point it looks hopeless for black, surrounded in the corner, not even alive, but white's outside stones are cut. The variation that AI gives here, it's really nice, and it's pointing out to what is the meaning of the entire fight and actually why white lost some points. You know, at some point white has to come back because the Aji starts to be very severe, and after Hane one time in center, black can play something like that. So now you can see what this is about. White will take the corner indeed, but black is building out quite a lot of thickness, and this makes things difficult for white, and it's much easier to make mistakes when black's moyo is so big. So this is a good chance of recovery for black. Now this variation in itself is very enlightening, but it was probably too hard for a black player to get all this, because this is very high level sacrifice strategy. I mean, there are a lot of variations as well. The order of moves can be quite different. I mean, white can, for example, start directly with this kind of move. So certainly there are a lot of variations, but the whole idea is that we sacrifice the corner and build some outside thickness. By playing from inside the corner, black quickly loses his chance. And here white pushes out. Actually, this is supposed to be a little bit better. This has also a good continuation around A. Anyway, now the only chance for black is to continue with Hane, which is very severely looking at both groups. In the game, black just jumped out, which is making things very simple for white. In fact, white could simply play here because already Hane, after jumping, is losing the point. Now black cannot even double Hane, so the entire point of this fight is kind of lost. White wanted also to play the solid move here, to which normally black should answer here, and then white can play here. So I also think that this AB exchange is not so good for white. But anyway, white is safe and black is lying in the corner. Black's choice here, it's losing even more points. In fact, black would like to test here. But after white cuts, I can play those kind of exchanges. And regarding the corner, it's important how to approach in order to play correctly the semi-eye. You have to start from Hane and then you play here. You know, so this kind of ko makes a black very short. If we start directly from the vital point here and we play like this, after black play this, black has a lot of liberties. This would be quite dangerous for white. As you can see, we are losing this semi big time. Now it's this big nakade in the corner and white has only 2 liberties. Coming back to this, if we play like that, this is already big difference. So now when black starts to take liberties, white will take the ko. If black connects, then immediately white start to have an advantage in the semi. But you see this is still a ko. But it's a difficult ko for black because it's a one-step Yue ko. Nevertheless, in the game, black submitted and came back to make life. After this, white is safe. So in the end, black didn't manage much, just get a little bit extra thickness, but at the expense of getting quite weak on the right side and losing a lot of territory again. So at this stage, white is ahead like 20 points. The order of moves is very professional, like everything that white plays here. Very good sabaki style, and this kikashi is also, this is an important kikashi that the AI wanted for a long time to exchange. Normally black should answer here, which black did, but if black doesn't answer, for example if black plays something else, it's interesting to analyze what happens here. So we get this shape which is basically turning into a ko. The vital point is to play like this and atari, and finally this is a ko. It's easy to make a mistake here if you just feel the liberty from this side, because once black play here, if we don't feel liberty we lose the semi easy, but the only liberty that we cannot feel from the inside, so we have only 2 ways from the outside. So if we play here, this is easy for black. White needs to play from this side, but now black wins the semi. So another choice would be to play here, and when black cuts, to play this kind of ko. So again, this is ko, but this ko is worse for white than the ko starting with this move. So this is a good tesuji, and this is the way white will start the ko. But anyway, black answered this, which leads to white quickly making sabaki. Black is way behind, so black should at least try to resist with this kind of move. If white play here, black can counter attack. So black answered politely here, which is quickly finishing the game, because after this white is simply alive on the top. The situation is very painful for black. Now black should do some work around here. I mean, we are behind, so if we die, we die, but at least we try something around here. In the game, black pressed from this side, which is giving white the chance to protect his territory on the lower side. And after this, the difference is now more than 20, something close to 25 points. So what is interesting to see, it's here white calmly makes life, which is very good. So around here, black, by playing this kind of entrance, black managed to win a few points, but also created pretty bad adachi in his shape. And it's nice to see also the ending sequence here, when white is really, first of all, white is calmly defending because he knows he's way ahead, so he really doesn't take any chance. But also there is a so bad adachi in black's territory, we will see. Black was ambitious to answer here, but this generates a full sequence where white really presses black very hard. So around here, black starts to be out of options. One more time, white managed very well this. I mean, if we play like that, white can simply play here, and now black has too many weaknesses. I mean, this capture here, it's obvious. So in the end, black is not even able to keep his moyo because of the bad adachi, and black has to resign. Okay, so it was interesting to see. Indeed, the difference in strength of players is quite big, but Black held his own pretty well in the first fight. Just soon after, Black started losing points after points, and the difference became too big. My advice, if you are, let's say, the weaker player in a game, the idea is not to play strangely, but to play normal moves. And the more normal you play, the bigger chance you have against a strong player, because actually the pressure is much bigger on the stronger player in a game. He cannot afford to lose honor and to lose the game, so the stronger player has to be much more careful, and sometimes this mental pressure can result in a chance for the weaker player to win, you know. But in this game, White played very solid anyway, and Black rushed a little bit some fights, which led to an early conclusion. With this, I end my commentary of the round 6. Thank you, and see you for the next game.